Okay, hello everyone. This is your learning work for the test that you are writing on Friday, the 13th of March. So the first page you received is the topics that you need to study. We start with topic number 1, the introduction and orientation between pages 3 and page 8. Then topic number 2, safety and first aid, page 11 and page 14. Topic number 3, measuring instruments on page 18. Topic number 4, the hand tools on page 22 and up to page 24. Then topic number 5, materials on page 27 and 28. And then topic number 6, joining from page 31 to page 32. Now all of this is the topics that's in your mechanical technology welding learner guide. I will go through each and every topic with you to highlight some important aspects and to explain some further information that you can use in the test. So we'll start with topic number 1, which is on introduction and orientation. We look at page number 3. We have 1.1, 1.2 and 1.2.1. So very important on this page is 1.2, what is a workshop? A workshop is a special place where we learn to work with metal. Here we practice to measure, to brand or mark, to cut, to drill, putting parts together and later to weld. Those are very important stuff that you need to remember. Then you look at 1.2.1, rules for when you enter the workshop. When you enter the workshop, number 1, put on your PPE immediately. Walk slowly and watch where you walk. Don't touch tools until your teacher gives permission. Keep your hands out of your pockets. Make sure your shoelaces are tightened and pack your bag in the right place. Then we can move on to page number 4. On top, what do we use the workshop for? We use the workshop to practice skills, getting to know metals, tools to use, to work safely, and to build small projects. Then 1.4, what does a typical workshop look like? This is important for if you are going to do a layout of the workshop. We have workstations, machines, hand tools, measurement stations, storage for materials, safety signs, and emergency equipment, a fire extinguisher or an emergency stop by some machines. Then at the bottom, 1.6, what do we do before we start working? We put on PPE, which includes helmets or safety goggles, gloves, boots, earmuffs, and an apron or an overall. Then number 2, we get your workstation ready. You remove bags, foods, papers, any rubbish. You check if your tools are complete and working, and you pack your materials neatly. Then number 3, wait for the teacher's instructions. Then 1.7, what do we do after class? We turn off all machines. We put tools in the right place. We sweep the floor. You clean your workstation. Put waste in the proper bins. Raise your hand for final sign up. And that's what you do after class, also very important. Then at 1.8, important safety signs in the workshop. 1.8.1, we have mandatory. They are blue in color. They are for mandatory stuff that you have to do according to law. Then 1.8.2, warning. They are for warning you for hot surfaces, sharp objects or electrical hazards. They are yellow in color. And then we have prohibited. meaning you're not allowed to do this. They are usually red in color, and they represent no running, no food or drink, no cell phones on workstations. They are typical for stuff that you are not allowed to do. Okay, then we can go on to page number 6. On top of page number 6, we have why orientation is important. To be safe, to use the workshop correctly, to prevent problems, respecting of tools and materials, and getting started and ready for all the work in the workshop. Then 1.11, we have 9 general workshop rules. Workshop rules are important to create order in the workshop and to have discipline in the workshop. So we have those 9 rules that are important. Number 1, be on time. Number 2, stand in line in front of the workshop. Number 3, no running around. Number 4, no cell phones are allowed. Number 5, work carefully and don't play. Number 6, no food or soft drinks may be used without the teacher's permission. Number 7, respect each other and the teacher. Number 8, keep the floor neat and clean. And then number 9, no bags allowed, lock them away. Then on page number 7, we have 1.12, careers in the welding industries. We explained what types of careers you can have with a welding background. It's important that you know the 4 different types of examples that we explained in class and what an advantage and a disadvantage is for each of them. And then we get to 1.13, where I earlier explained to you the workshop layout or the explanation. The layout of a workshop is drawn from a top view. This means that the workshop is drawn as you would see it from the sky. Then at 1.13.1, important points that you need to draw are the work areas, tables for work and theory, the machinery, your entrance and your exit, toilet, storage room, and if you look on top of page number 8, it will say fire extinguishers or safety equipment. If you're drawing an important point, remember to draw the object shape as you see it from above. For example, a table will be a square or a rectangle. Then 1.14, also very important, emergency evacuation. In the event of an emergency, it would be necessary to evacuate the workshop. We must follow the following steps. Number 1, stay calm. Number 2, move to the exit in an orderly manner. Number 3, line up in a row at a safe distance from the workshop. Number 4, follow the teacher to the evacuation area. And number 5, make sure your classmates are all present. Okay, that will be that for topic number 1. We can move on to page number 11 for topic number 2, safety and first aid. Now, very important here, 2.1, we have safety procedures. We have 3 main topics under safety procedures. Number 1, good housekeeping. Number 2, safety rules. And number 3, personal protective equipment. Now 2.2 is on good housekeeping. Very important, what is the purpose of good housekeeping? That sentence there, it's very important for you to remember. Then we have 2.2.2, poor housekeeping, which means bad housekeeping. Bad housekeeping, very important that you study all those examples. There's 5 of them. And then at 2.2.3, we have effective, which is good housekeeping. You study all those ones. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and it carries on page number 12. There on top, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then 2.4, safety rules. There's 12, 15 safety rules that are very important for you to study. Then 2.5, accidents. Remember, this sentence is extremely important. An accident is an unplanned, uncontrolled incident caused by unsafe actions or unsafe conditions. Now, 2.5.1, an unsafe act explains like this. An unsafe act is something caused by a person working unsafely. And we have the examples there that you also need to study. Then on page 13, we have an unsafe condition. An unsafe condition is caused by the direct work environment in which work takes place. And those examples as well that are very important. Then 2.6, important that you study 2.6.1, what you should do if you need to treat someone who is bleeding, and 2.6.2, what are the correct steps to follow to deal with an injury. Then we carry on page number 14. We have examples of PPE and what they are used for. It's important that you study each and every one of them, the name of them, how they look, and what they are used for. So this whole 2.7 is very important for you to study, and it continues on page 15. Okay, now we can move on to topic number 3, measuring tools. You have a table there that has the name, the image, and the usage. Like with the PPE, you need to study the name and what each tool is used for. So this whole number 3.1 is important for you to study. And it continues up to page number 13, where it ends with the square rulers. Very important to study. Okay, topic number 4 on page number 22, the same story. You have the whole of 4.1, that's the tool's name, picture, and what it is used for. So very important to study all of them, where it goes up until page number 24 there on top. Then 4.2, we have the 5-point drilling process for when you need to drill a hole into your material. There's 5 steps that you need to take. So number 1 says measure the area where drilling is to be done and mark the exact location. Number 2, use a center punch to make a dent in the material on the mark. This makes it easier for the drill bit to drill exactly at that mark. Then number 3, drill a pilot hole with a small drill bit. Number 4, drill the hole to the correct size. And number 5, clean the edges of the hole. So those 5 steps for the 5-point drilling process is also very, very important. Okay, then we can go to topic number 5. It starts on page 27. Now we have materials. It's very important that you follow these instructions. At 5.1 we have non-ferrous metals. Now each type of metal, non-ferrous or ferrous metal, has 3 characteristics. Mainly, number 1, it does not contain iron, it is not magnetic, and it is resistant against rust. Those are the 3 characteristics for non-ferrous metals. And then you have 3 examples and what they are used for. We have brass, copper, and aluminium. It's important that you know examples of non-ferrous metals and what they can be used for. Then we can page on to page number 28. On top there we have 5.2 ferrous metals. Now again, 3 characteristics. Luckily for you, it's easy to remember because it is the exact opposite of non-ferrous metals. So number 1, it does contain iron, it is magnetic, and it's less resistant against the rust. There we also have 3 examples. Again, stainless steel, mild steel, and cast iron. Okay, then we can move on to topic number 6. We have joining, and we start off with the shielded metal arc welding machine. What is important for you here is to study 6.1.1, each name, so the carry handle, the on and off switch, the setting switch, the electrode holder, the earth clamp, the wire brush, your overload LED, and your welding screen, and where each one is placed. So we have number 1, we have number 2, see it's cut off there, we have number 3 here in the corner, we have number 4, that's also almost cut off, then we have number 5, number 6, number 7, and number 8, all ready for you to study. Very important that you study both the picture and the names of each component. Then on page 32, 6.1.2, to use the machine, we need to set it up. So how do we set it up? We follow these steps right here that you need to study in the correct order. Then at 6.2, tack welding. What is a tack weld? It's that sentence there that explains it to you. A tack weld is a small temporary weld to hold workpieces together before the final welding process can be completed. If you look at the picture, you will see there's one small weld, one small weld, one small weld, and one small weld that holds the pieces together. It is not a full complete weld. Then 6.3, we have alternative joining methods. 6.3.1, it's the use of pop rivets. What is it used for? Important to know what it is used for and how it is used. Then on page 33, on top we have bolts and nuts, what it is used for, and regular welding and what it is used for, or what is the process of welding. Okay guys, that's the learning work that you need to study for your test. I hope this video assists you and helps you to study properly and that you are prepared for the test. Good luck to each and every one of you.